I hope my testifying here will help lead to a calmer, more rational approach to dealing with climate change and with other major environmental problems. The two reports do not promote the kind of rational discussion we should be having. I would like to tell you why. My biggest concern is that the IPCC 2014 and the White House Climate Change Assessment present a number of speculative, sometimes incomplete conclusions embedded in language that gives them more scientific heft than they deserve. The reports are scientific sounding rather than based on clearly settled facts or admitting their lack. Established facts about global environment exist less often in science than laymen usually think. The two reports assume and argue that the climate warming forecast by the global climate models is happening and will continue to happen and grow worse. Currently, these predictions are way off the reality. There is an implicit assumption in both reports that nature is in steady state, that all change is negative and undesirable for all life, including people. This is the opposite of the reality. Environment has always changed. Living things have had to adapt to these changes and may require change. Many require change. The IPCC report makes repeated use of the term irreversible changes. A species going extinct is irreversible, but little else about the environment is irreversible. The report gives the impression that living things are fragile and rigid, unable to deal with change. The opposite is the case. Life is persistent, adaptable, adjustable. In particular, the IPCC report for policymakers repeats the assertion of previous IPCC reports that large fraction of species face increased extinction risks. Overwhelming evidence contradicts this assertion. Models making these forecasts use incorrect assumptions, leading to overestimates of the extinction risks. Surprisingly, few species became extinct during the past 2.5 million years, a period encompassing ice ages and warm periods.
Greetings, boys and girls around the world. I'm going to explain what you just saw. Some of you have been scuba diving or snorkeling. I've been snorkeling in Florida, where the water is clear. You can see the bottom below you. You can see the surface above you. You can see a few fish swimming around nearby. And you just float there peacefully and quietly, effortlessly. At different times and places in the ocean, there is so much marine snow falling down and settling on the bottom that you can see it. But you could easily imagine the dead bodies of little marine creatures, some of them microscopic, others larger, like snails and creatures with shells. End up on the bottom of the ocean, layer upon layer, preserving in this material, these sediments, clues, information about the Earth's climate going back millions of years. So the chart you just saw is ice volume extrapolated from an oxygen isotope in these sediments on the bottom of the ocean. And I suspect it's reliable because it looks surprisingly like the ice core samples from Antarctica and from Greenland.
No flag, no anthem, no nationalistic rights whatsoever. They live in peace. That is, until an oil company digs its claws into their ancestral lands. No flag, no anthem, no nationalistic rights whatsoever. They live in peace. That is, until an oil company digs its claws into their ancestral lands. No flag, no anthem, no nationalistic rights whatsoever. They live in peace. That is, until an oil company digs its claws into their ancestral lands. No flag, no anthem, no nationalistic rights whatsoever. They live in peace. That is, until an oil company digs its claws into their ancestral lands.